Welcome to our channel. I'm Fiona.
And this is Christopher.
And we are Christopher and Fiona Ricks. Or is it Fiona and Christopher? Does my name come first as your second? Anyway.
I think it's Christopher and Fiona.
Okay. We are Christopher and Fiona Ricks, and we are going to talk today about how we met. We've only posted a few videos, but we have been getting these questions. I've been getting these questions, and people want the how we met story. But before we get to that, as you can see, we're recording, virtually. We're doing this recording virtually. Christopher's in Norway. I am currently in the States. So if you don't know the beginning part, go back, check out our videos before where he came and did a surprise proposal. I was living in Canada and he came and did a surprise proposal there. So go back and watch that. But we are, for now, maybe for a couple more days, a long distance couple.
A long distance married couple.
A long distance married couple. I'm going to be moving over to Norway. I'll be there Tuesday.
Actually, by the time this video is posted, you will already be here. So it's pretty much by the grace of God, you will be here. So it's pretty much the last video that we get to record from a distance, from two different locations, at least for over a long period of time. But before we do anything more, baby, we just want to extend our utmost appreciation to all of you that's been watching, to you that's watching right now. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. To all of you that subscribed, thank you so much. To those of you that watching and haven't subscribed, please do. We kindly ask that you subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you are notified whenever we post a new video. And if you are getting value and entertainment out of this, like the video,
Share.
it helps. Share, comment, right? Thank you, baby. That's right. All right.
Yeah. So now the housekeeping is done.
How did we meet?
Christopher Riggs. How did we meet? And
So I got
everybody spitting to my DMs. I'm kidding.
yeah. I kind of actually did. No, not really.
Okay.
So, all right. In this, we also get to say a little bit about ourselves because we haven't really done that, but you will get to know more about us as time goes by. But as you mentioned, I'm Christopher. That's my wife Fiona, and we are both originally from Liberia. We are married. You kind of flashed the ring, so okay.
Liberia, West Africa. I
Because
think there's a Liberia in Costa Rica or somewhere.
that's true. I just found that out.
Africa.
Right, and I'm presently living in Norway with my two children, partially with my two children, Darian, who is 9 years old, and Adele, who is 5, just turned 5. And my wife Fiona has been living in Canada. She has no kids, and she's moving over very soon. Now,
I have no kids. We're married, so I have kids now, but I have no biological children of my own.
Yes,
I do have kids now.
right.
Okay.
That's true. I'm still getting used to that. But yeah, we became acquaintances on a refugee camp in Ghana about 20 years ago. I used to sing in a group.
It was well over 20 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was back in, we're in 2022 now. I think this was back in 2002. Wait, So is it been 20 years? Yeah, you're right.
Okay, about 20 years ago, I was friends with her brother. We were in actually in the same school, same class. But fast forward, we she found herself in Canada, Winnipeg, Canada. I found myself in Norway, and we reconnected on Facebook about 12 to 13 years ago through a mutual friend that we had. Anyways, over the time, we became really good friends.
Somebody posted in somebody at our wedding, one of our groomsmen gave a backstory and said like he used to, because Christopher used to come and do a singing group. He was a part of a singing group, all guys singing group, and they used to come and practice at our house in our yard. And somebody said that, maybe this is how. I just want to throw in there. We never talk to each other when we're in Ghana.
No, we didn't.
Never. You didn't even say hi. You were coming to my house and didn't even bother saying hi.
Because
Mm-mm.
at the time you were I saw you to be a bit younger than I was, and it just wasn't cool to be checking out my friend's little baby sister.
First
So,
of all, anyways, we're only
so
3 years apart, and
yeah.
I did go to his house too. His sister doesn't remember this, but I did go to his house, but he wasn't home. I went with his sister because we were kind of cool, but we were closer with his younger brother.
Why
And
did you
I
go
went.
there? Why did you go there?
Why? I was hanging
Yeah.
out with your sister, and I went there. And while I was there, you weren't the reason I went there, but while I was there, I was looking around to see if you were home. But yeah, I was
I
checking for you.
wonder. I wonder. Well, all right. So I'm gonna jump back to where where I was in the story. We eventually became good friends. Actually, eventually, that friendship turned into a judgment-free space for the both of us. Whilst we were,
If you're not really telling the story of how we met, like you just fast forwarded to we reconnected and we were friends. No, 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 we didn't just reconnect. Christopher
okay,
was in Norway, I was in Canada, and we had a mutual friend. And I knew this friend from Liberia, and she lives in Norway. And he saw me that I was friends with her on Facebook. So he asked the girl if he could get connected with me, and she checked in with me, and I said, sure. So when he connected with me, he was trying to be a player and trying to start flirting with me and all that stuff. And I said, long distance relationship would never work. And two, we're both born in the same month, two July people. That's not a good matchup either. So that's how we eventually progressed into being friends. Cause like he was trying to be, a player, and he didn't even
can
believe
you
in long
please stop
distance
using that
relationship.
word on me? I don't think anybody that knows me would have ever identify me as a player. So
Well,
that
fortunately for
wasn't
me, I know you better than a lot of people who know you.
okay.
Mhm.
The details, the unnecessary details.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
So
this
that's how.
friendship actually developed into a no judgment or judgment free space for the both of us. Even
Yeah.
as we were in our respective relationships,
Hmm.
which isn't a good idea. We'll never do that again.
Yes. Do
But
not, if you are in a relationship, do not maintain a friendship with somebody of the opposite sex that you might be attracted to. Just don't even do it, period. Because we did it. We know it wasn't a good idea. Because what happened was I became Christopher's confidant and vice versa. So a lot of times we would come to each other to talk about what was going on in our prospective relationships, and maybe like either
that was the word I
get
should have
valid.
used. I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I said that was the word I should have used.
What'd you
Perspective,
use?
not respective.
Hmm.
Anyways, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So we were coming to each other either to get validation from each other, which then probably didn't even allow us to properly go back and do the work in our relationships. Or, but I will say we really were like, I feel like we were to an extent really good accountability partner for each other. Like if Christopher did something and he comes and like if something happened in his relationship and he came to talk to me about it, I'd be like, from a woman's perspective, like I don't like this isn't right and blah blah blah. Like I think maybe you could have handled it this way and vice versa. However, this is not something we recommend to anybody else because what happened along the way was we became so kind of reliant on each other in that aspect. And I think that is what allowed for feelings to foster.
Well, I'm not gonna. I prefer us not saying what Don't do this or that. Is I would rather say for us that's not gonna ever. That's not gonna work. No other friendship in that way, and it's probably not a good idea. At least for what we have experienced, we know what it led to, and yeah. So
I mean, it
any
did lead to us getting married.
yes,
However,
of course. But yeah, wouldn't do that again.
yeah.
So in 2019, no, 2018, end of 2018, we both found ourselves in a similar situation where both of us were single and feeling each other, and so we decided to do something about it. We agreed to meet in Toronto in February. Was it early March,
Yeah, so
February?
I didn't live in Toronto. I lived in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And so I was going to Toronto for my niece's birthday. And it was just easier travel wise because Christopher only had 4 days. So it was just easier travel wise for him to meet me in Toronto. So that was
Right.
the end of February, early March of 2019.
And that happened.
That happened.
That was kind of funny because we had prior discussions before we met, and I was just I'm just gonna pay a visit. I like you, but it is what it is. We're just gonna
So your behavior.
no. I was just saying what I felt. It's just gonna be a nice time at least, and then that's what it's gonna be. At least we got to meet.
Where I'm saying, I said, like we clearly feel something. So what happens if we come and whatever it is that we feel so far away is something that is actually real? And like Christopher was just,
I dismissed it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's the word.
yep. See,
So
yeah.
right, I dismissed that. I just didn't want to hear it. I just wanted to meet up and see, let what was going to happen happen. However, we met up, and it was amazing. It was one of the most amazing 4 days that I had with anybody, felt with anybody. And there was this. I remember the moment. I remember the moment that I felt. I had this feeling of home. I felt like I was home. I think we were sitting on some public transport. I believe the tram or something. The Going somewhere in Toronto, and I just felt this feeling of being home, like I was finally home with the person I should be with. So we we after that trip we decided to start dating, and this was going to be a long distance dating relationship. However, me, being me, came over here and chickened out for several reasons. But let's just say it like that. I chickened out, quickly jumped into another relationship. That was me being me, and hurt her really bad along that period of time. And that put us into a state of, yeah, a few, was it a few years? No, a year or so without much communication.
No, that's not true at all. What? We went 6 months without talking, and that was from December of 2019. Pretty much, no, from January of 2019 to like June. Yeah, really.
Details, details, baby.
No,
Like those, all
details
of those
matter.
details.
We
Not,
didn't go a whole year without talking. He, Christopher and I, when we broke up in maybe like he came in March, early March, and we started dating. And April, May, June. 3 months later, we were breaking up. And a week after us breaking up, he was on vacation with his with somebody else. But we remained friends. Really, that's all we had known. We remained friends, and but I think it was just such a
yeah,
difficult
that's true.
time because it was such a difficult time because there was a lot of confusion for me because when he came, he like he said he had never felt what he felt with me. He hadn't felt it before, and so like I I knew he was in love with me. So it was very confusing for me that like he wasn't really trying to put in the work that it required for us to at least figure out what was going on. And so when we broke up, we did remain friends, but I think it was just too difficult because it came to a point where like shots were being fired, and so then we just didn't talk for like 6 months. And then fast forward after that, it was COVID. And so at some point, I had blocked Christopher. Now, what I will say is that every year on my birthday, on our birthdays, my birthday's before his, every year for a for quite some time now, every year, Christopher has sent me a beautiful birthday message every year. So even when we broke up in 2019, June, a couple of weeks later was my birthday, he was blocked, but I knew I was sitting there knowing that he would have been trying to get a message across to me. And apparently he had sent it to my school email. And so when we started talking again, uh, I had to I unblocked him and then we started talking. And so in that 6 months after that 6 months when when we went back again to not talking and didn't talk for 6 months, I had reached out to him to attempt to have a friendship. And he said, no, his girlfriend wouldn't be happy with him having a friendship with me, which of course she wouldn't have been, but also, like, so then I was like, okay, you know what, whatever. So I blocked him everywhere. And so my birthday came. He had just broken up with that girlfriend. And my birthday came, and his friend in Liberia had to call me and tell me on my birthday, unblock Christopher. Said, why? Like, he's over there living his life. I'm over here living my life. I don't, like this. So I unblocked him. It's kind of really coerced into it. And I unblocked him. And then we started talking, and I found out that he had come out of that relationship. And so we continued our friendship, really, because when we got back, when we started talking again, I was just moving to this space of where, like, wanted, I wanted something of substance. I wanted something that was going to be deep and long lasting. And like, so I was moving into this space of celibacy. So like I just really wasn't trying to
It's
like
actually
I'm not
called
also
abstinence.
hmm?
It's actually called abstinence.
No, no. At that time, I was being celibate. I gradually switched over to abstinence, like because at that space I was practicing celibacy, but I didn't have like a definite time period on it. It was just until I can find somebody like and be in a relationship and blah blah blah. Like I wasn't, but I moved into abstinence that I wasn't going to be sexually intimate with anybody until I got married. So yeah, there was a transition that happened, and
Yeah. So fast forward again, 2021 summer. This was where the both of us found ourselves in a position where we found
babe,
ourselves on a similar path of
baby,
alignment in a way.
baby,
Yeah.
babe, you doing too much of a fast forward. Christopher had moved into a space the end
Yeah.
of 2020, early 2021, where he was rebuilding his relationship with God.
This is how I because we talking to this
Wait,
woman, I
wait,
have to be so detailed, like take things into detail, and
yes.
that's how she likes to
Because this is
communicate
this is
too.
very this
Like,
is very important. This is actually very important to us getting back together because you had moved into a space where you were building your relationship with God, and I
that's
was
true.
already, like being celibate and stuff. So you were doing some work on yourself, and I was doing some work on myself. And so somehow we crossed over, and then I moved into building my relationship with God, and you had moved into being abstinent. And so we were really able to witness each other really do this work on ourselves. And so I think that just allowed us, yes, we knew we loved each other, but I think it just allowed us to be able to see each other in like just this really different like light, so to speak,
Yeah, for
like we're
sure.
able to see each other in a different way. And like because my Christopher was my best friend, I used to talk to him about everything, but it wasn't until we started being able to speak about God together and stuff like that that we realized it really wasn't everything we were talking about. But we got into a space where we're able to speak on faith and speak on like just talk about God and be in our settings. And it was just beautiful. So something else blossomed through that space because we were at a point again of writing each other up. We're like, we're just gonna be friends. I'm not checking for you, Christopher. Like, and somehow now we can get to the fast forward. Somehow we found ourselves in a relationship. But I think
Somehow.
again he bamboozled me.
Well, let's just say that, yep, we found ourselves on that similar path, as she said, and then found ourselves in a relationship. We started dating with intentions. I was already on the path of the next person that I was gonna date. I was gonna date with intention, and I had to see a possibility of marriage with that person. So, and this was it. So we talked about it, prayed about it, even took a bit of time away from each other to pray about this, and we just felt that settlement in our spirit. I did really feel that peace within my spirit to move on with this, and that was all I needed. And so right away, I talked to my family about it, talked to my friends about it, and started to plan on. We started our discussion on how we were going to take this further. And February, the video that you watched, if you've seen our engagement video, if you haven't, go back and check it out. I'm a bit proud of that one. But February, I flew to Winnipeg, Canada, and asked her to marry me. Now, I asked this woman to marry me before she had even seen where I live, visited this country, or met my children. That's how that's how well I felt this. That's how much I felt it within me that it was the right decision. And I went there knowing that she was already on her way to visit us 2 weeks after. You were going to spend 4 weeks with us in March. Yeah,
Mm.
and I did that, and with taking that chance, you could have come and be like, nah, this ain't for me,
See,
but
that's what I mean when I say he bamboozled me, because he already put a ring on my finger, and so it's just like, how am I just gonna walk in there and be like, you know what, peace out,
you could have,
like, so,
you could have.
yes, I could have, because we have both been engaged prior, and so we have both come out of relationships that we were engaged in. So, yes, just don't ever feel like because you are engaged to somebody, you are obligated to stay there. When you are engaged, there is that nice period of getting to know each other, like being intentional, even more intentional than you are when you're dating. However, do not I would not advise anybody to feel like they have to stay and go to the altar with somebody if they don't feel like certain things are going to, like, I don't know, because once you get married, that's a different ball game. Like for Christopher and I, we are, just really leaning on God, and we really are taking our marriage from a perspective of divorce is not an option. So we're really going to have to work at it every day, work at it, choose each other, and every day just like lean on God for our understanding of how to navigate our marriage. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, so you got to spend a couple of weeks with us, and went back and we continued to plan our wedding from two different locations.
Yeah,
And we tied the knot on the 22nd of July,
2022.
2022. And it was beautiful. Very small. But anyway, we're going to post something on that.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
that's,
talk about the wedding
yeah,
stuff next time.
that's going to be the next one. Yeah. But yeah, that's how we met, and that's how we got to this place that we are right now.
Mm.
Should we say a little bit about what's coming up? Oh,
No.
actually, I think we should just also
Wait, I
mention.
wanted to say, when you were talking about like you prayed on it and you were at peace. Like, you don't even want to know if I was at peace. Like, when Christopher was praying on our like this and wondering if our, like just waiting for that peace. I, on the other hand, was on over here saying the, what is it called, the unselfish prayer. And I was saying that a lot before. And I was like, God, if Christopher's not, because we really had come to the understanding that if we were not going to be in a relationship, we weren't even going to have a friendship anymore. Like,
No,
that was it, because we knew that maintaining a friend with the two of us, maintaining a friendship while we're in relationships with other people, it was just not going to be healthy for where we wanted to be in our lives. And so that was going to end. So when we started talking about actually being together, I was saying, God, if Christopher isn't meant for me, like, let something happen right away, like, just to, like, get him out of my life. And as I was very honest, I said, you do know I love him. However, like, I do not want him if you don't want him for me. And so when he wasn't going anywhere, my prayer changed to, God, you see us, we're going, we're doing this, do something now. Like, I
yeah,
really used to say that, like, we're doing this, like, you seen us, right? And stuff like that. So it just, I think, I don't believe that Christopher and I would have been able to be here and be able to be at peace with our decision to be together had we not really sought God in all of this. And we really tried to do it on our own back in 2019. It's an epic failure. And so we know that doing it this time, this is not us. I think really God just got tired of the two of us. It's like, I wanted you guys together, but y'all not coming to me. So yeah, I think God just got tired of us. It was like, okay, had to force us to this point individually in our lives that had us do that work to be able to get here. So
Yeah,
I am very
definitely.
grateful for that, and I
Okay,
have my
but
soul.
yes, she used the word.
I did.
Very little time now. So, but just before we go, I just wanted to mention a little bit on why we decided to do this, start this channel. It's mainly for documenting our journey, and yeah, pretty much just documenting our journey through this very unfamiliar time, very unfamiliar territory that we are stepping into. We are not, absolutely not experts on anything. We are not coming to show the way or a way, but we are only showing what works for us and how it's going along the way. And for anybody that gets value out of that, that's wonderful. But that's where we are.
And also, if you're in a long distance relationship, comment below on how you're
Yeah,
navigating that. Like some tips on how you're navigating your long distance relationship. I
yeah,
mean, our distance is about to end soon, so if you also are you newly relocated to your partner, give us some tips on what like how you guys are maneuvering this, because we want to learn as much as we want to be able to share story.
yeah. All right, y'all.
Okay,
So
everyone.
go ahead.
Well, that is the story of how Christopher met Fiona.
That's right.
And we thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and to turn on your notifications and to like and to comment and share.
All of
And
that.
also,
All of that. And
please go and subscribe to Christopher's other YouTube channel, Africans Abroad, where he has conversations with Africans in the diaspora about their journey. So
that's
we
right.
really are on the story sharing platforms and the journey sharing platforms. So please go subscribe there. He probably will put the link below for that channel below here as well.
I'm definitely gonna do that. All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Until
And I'll be seeing you Tuesday.
that's right. By the time we put this out, you'll be here.
I will be. By
Can't
God's
wait.
grace.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now.